if we're gonna continue over onto some more Godzilla news, well, not news, book releases, we have our review of issue 4 of Godzilla Here There Be Dragons. This is a pretty interesting issue, and I think I know what the ending of the series is going to be, but we'll get to that at the end of the review. Because there's no way that they're wrapping this up with one more issue.
I do not see how they wrap this up in one more issue at all. I mean, they progressed it pretty quickly.
They did.
To getting, but I feel like it's going to be rushed if they really do. I don't know.
Yeah, no. So, basically, we open up and we see paintings of Titanosaurus, King Caesar, and Udaku, which is the giant octopus. We'll be hearing about them later in this episode as well. So these are all fights that have previously happened. They're cave drawings, and basically, you can go.
Yeah, we see that they've basically previously fought Godzilla, and he's like one of the main things. He's at the bottom of the cave paintings, and they get Godzilla's name there. They were on the island at the time, and this is where they discover Godzilla's name is in these paintings and drawings.
Yeah. They find this abandoned village, which appears to be recently abandoned, and it's these people that worshipped Godzilla like they were a god. I got from this like first quarter of the comic book showing the village and everything, just gave me like Skull Island vibes. Like they just swapped out Godzilla for Kong.
Well, it's funny. Matt Frank said something similar along the line of that. He's like, I felt like this issue could have swapped like so many other characters and monsters out for this story here. He's like, I felt like it was a very plug and play story for this issue.
Yeah, I did too, but it's still going in a really good place. They do also emphasize a lot on the human aspect of the story.
Yes.
The monsters are kind of doing their own thing almost in the background. It's really more about the people.
Yeah.
So we just get further explanation of like basically what their plot is they're gonna lure Ebirah to Godzilla's cave
and use Ebirah
as a distraction.
Distract Godzilla while they pull all the treasure out. Because we learned last issue from the map that the treasure is in Godzilla's cave. So Francis Drake rigs all these bombs, and they're pretty much just throwing bombs at Ezra to piss it off. And they run. They're getting chased by Ebirah across the island still from last issue. And they get to the cave. Godzilla immediately hears Ebirah, and it was like, oh, hell no. It comes out of the cave. The two monsters begin fighting, and it's a pretty crazy fight. Henry's telling how the cave is just littered with skeletons of other monsters. There's more paintings, and they found a painting that matched Drake's coin because they didn't see anything but skeletons in the cave. They found a painting that matches Drake's coin, and underneath the painting they move some stones, and it pretty much brings them into another room that's filled with the treasure. So they finally found the treasure. They're all celebrating, and then Bianco shows up and begins killing a bunch of the crewmates as they're celebrating that they found the treasure. And that's where it leaves off with the human aspect. Yeah. And it cuts back to the fight with Godzilla, still going with Ebirah. Godzilla's going back and forth with Ebirah. He rips off one of Ebirah's claws and begins to beat Ebirah down with it. And just as Godzilla's about to blast Ebirah with an atomic blast, Adako, the giant octopus, shows up, grabs Godzilla, and pulls him down under. And this ending is very similar to the movie that we're about to review as well.
Yeah, and also the Ebirah fight with Godzilla, tearing off the claw. He almost got the little taunt. I thought after he did the atomic breath, maybe we'd get the taunt, but we didn't get the atomic breath.
No.
But one of the, it was a good issue, action packed. The kaiju fight was pretty well drawn. One of the things that I think though is a plot that is kind of going on in the background, and I think it's going to lead to the ending of issue 5, is the plot of him telling the story to Wesselington. What's the guy's name?
I think it's Sir Francis Wesselington
Yeah,
or whatever.
something like that.
Yeah.
He's encouraging that he drinks all this wine and food and stuff, and he keeps telling the story. He's giving them more details than he was giving the other guards. The guards are protesting, and they're like, why are we doing this? He's a criminal. He's spinning tales. He's just a drunkard. I think that he knows that everything that this guy is telling is true, and this series is going to end with him being poisoned from all the wine that he's drinking. And it's going to be revealed that, you know, because why would he show up and just believe what anything this guy's telling him and be asking all these questions and everything if he wasn't already a part of the conspiracy? And he wants to, it's his job to know how much this guy knows and how much do other people know. Who are the other people that know about this?
And he's been threatening these guys the whole damn time.
Yeah.
To say, yo, shut up and stop.
Yeah, let this guy talk. Let this guy talk. And he's been asking him all these questions. Oh, where'd you get the dynamite from? Oh, who else was on the island?
Wow.
That's my, at least that's my opinion.
That is pretty damn good.
Because I'm still thinking, like, there's no way that they're finishing. He might finish his story about the island and the treasure and everything, but like the story in general is not over after this.
So then you think we're gonna get enough, like, you know, this whole cult. He was talking about the whole cult. So you think we might get somebody else's story in different time periods on the island? That would be really cool.
I think, because it's just, why would you even mention that there's a cult? You know, like, why even touch on that if you're not going to mention it? You mention it in the 3rd. You don't mention it in the 4th at all. It was
something that got introduced like way in the middle of the series,
and it was just like, oh yeah, there's a whole cult, and people wear giant metal masks and pretend that they're like the avatars of these kaijus and stuff like that.
Yeah. Wow. I like it.
We'll see what happens on issue 5. I've been thoroughly enjoying. I know you've been reading a lot more of the IDW comics, and you're just saying they're hitting on all cylinders on all these series. I really enjoy this one.
Yeah, I really like this one. I am in love with War for Humanity right now, but I love the setting of this. I love the characters. I love Henry. I think he's a great character.
Yeah.
If they kill him off, it's going to be a little sad, but from what you're saying, that would make a really great story the way you're going now.
Yeah. But that's if they pivot and they're like, oh yeah, we're doing this giant series or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to know what IDW's got up their sleeves, because there's been a lot of pushback. So, you know, like Mechagodzilla was supposed to be out earlier this month for Godzilla Rivals. It got pushed to mid-November. And now issue 3 for War for Humanity got pushed all the way back to the end of December now.
Oh, wow.
I was just looking. I just reviewed issue 2. And I was like, oh yeah, it's coming out at the end of November. And I looked again, and it's coming out December now. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it might be printer issues.
I don't know if it's printer issues or if they're now with the DC series going on, they're like, we just don't want to have
a competing
4 Godzilla comics coming out in 1 month.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know if that's what it is.
Yeah, and that's going to be a 7-issue run.
Yeah, it is. That's going to be running a while.
Yeah. You know.
Haven't heard anything about it yet. I got my copy of issue 1. Haven't got to read it yet.
Yeah, no.
But I will.
But
I'll be covering it.
Yeah, you know, I'd love to see where this story is going. I hope they continue it, but I know that they have so much on their plate.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling that they're going to continue.
I really love the setting. What's that?
I just have a feeling that they're going to continue.
I really hope they do. I really love the pirate setting of it. Even if we, like you said, you know, we see different. There was the Aztec. There's all different islands. They had the Vikings. Like,
yeah, I'm also a really big Assassin's Creed fan, and this just gives me like, like the secret cult. It just gives me like all those same vibes.
Yeah, if we got all these different settings, that's just so cool. Like, you know, like Rivals has given us fights in the States, has given us fights in Japan,
outer space,
yes, a space elevator. I just like seeing different time periods and just different settings like this. The pirates thing is great. As
Yeah.
soon as we heard Godzilla and pirates, I was like, yes, I don't care. I don't care what happens. Godzilla and Pirates. I need to read
Yeah.
it. Need to see this story, and it's been a fun story, fun characters.
Yeah, I think
Definitely,
seeing Godzilla in a non-modern day story is special. You know, that's why I like the Rages Across Time
people are like,
series.
"Oh, it makes no sense. How was Godzilla made if there's no bomb? Who cares? It's Godzilla and Pirates."
Yeah. Well, like that goes back to the whole almost like the legendary theory where it's just like, oh yeah, Godzilla is just a force of nature, has been here forever.
Yeah. The bomb woke him up.
Bomb woke him up. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
it feeds off of atomic energy. Like, you know, like that's all you need.
Yeah, sure. He just feeds off the atomic energy. Whatever.
Like the Rages Across Time one, I think the only one I wasn't the hugest fan of was like the oh my god, I can't even remember. Oh, the Hannibal one where it takes place during like the Roman Empire and they're like in an ice cave. That's the one I wasn't the hugest fan of. It was still fine.
How often do you think about that issue, though?
At least twice a week. But yeah, we'll see what's coming up next. And
You had to bring up the Roman Empire.
speaking of next, terrible transition.